From a young age, I had my sights set on a career in professional football. I remember the countless hours spent in the backyard, tossing the ball around, dreaming of the day I would step onto a professional field. The posters on my wall were more than just decorations. They were symbols of my aspirations, my heroes, and the future I envisioned for myself. I dreamt of the roar of the crowd, the thrill of the game, and the glory of victory. Every touchdown I scored in my imagination was a step closer to making that dream a reality. The adrenaline, the cheers, the camaraderie with teammates, it was all I ever wanted.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's story is one of grit, determination, and the unwavering belief in one's potential. From his early days, he showcased a relentless drive, pushing himself beyond limits, always striving for excellence. His journey is a testament to the power of perseverance and the human spirit. His dedication earned him a full scholarship to the University of Miami, a powerhouse in college football. This was a significant milestone, a validation of his hard work and talent. At Miami, he was surrounded by some of the best athletes in the country, and he thrived in this competitive environment. He trained with relentless passion, pushing his limits day in and day out. The weight room became his second home, and the football field was where he honed his skills. Every drill, every practice session was an opportunity to get better, to inch closer to his dream. As a Miami Hurricane, Dwayne tasted success, becoming an integral part of their 1991 national championship team. This victory was a highlight of his college career, a moment of triumph that he would cherish forever. It was a testament to his hard work and the collective effort of his team. His talent, physique, and drive were undeniable. Coaches and scouts took notice, and it seemed like the NFL draft was the next logical step. His future in professional football looked promising, and he was ready to take on the challenge. The NFL draft seemed like the natural progression, a stepping stone to fulfilling his lifelong ambition. The anticipation was palpable, and everyone expected him to be picked by a top team. It was the culmination of years of hard work and dedication. But life, as it often does, had other plans. Despite his impressive resume and undeniable talent, the draft day came and went without his name being called. It was a shocking turn of events, one that left him at a crossroads, questioning his future.
Despite my undeniable talent and unwavering effort, I went undrafted by the NFL. It was a crushing blow, one that I never saw coming. The rejection stung deeply, and for a moment, it felt like all my dreams had been shattered. The rejection stung, a bitter pill to swallow after years of unwavering dedication. I had given everything to this sport, and to be overlooked was a harsh reality to face. But in that moment of despair, I knew I had to find a way to move forward.
Undeterred, Dwayne refused to give up on his dream. He knew that setbacks were a part of the journey, and he was determined to overcome them. His resilience and determination were unwavering, and he sought new opportunities to prove himself. He signed with the Calgary Stampeders in the Canadian Football League, determined to prove himself on a different stage. This was a new chapter, a chance to showcase his skills and reignite his football career, determined to prove himself on a different stage. The CFL was a new arena, and Dwayne approached it with the same passion and dedication that had defined his career thus far. He was ready to give it his all. However, his time in the CFL was short-lived. Despite his best efforts, things didn't go as planned. The challenges were immense, and the competition was fierce. It was another setback, one that tested his resolve. Facing further setbacks and injuries, Dwayne was released from the team. It was a difficult period, marked by physical pain and emotional turmoil. But even in the face of adversity, Dwayne's spirit remained unbroken. He knew that every setback was a setup for a comeback. The double blow of rejection from both the NFL and CFL left Dwayne at a crossroads. His dreams of becoming a professional football player, dreams he had nurtured since childhood, were suddenly shattered. The path he had envisioned for himself was no longer an option, and he found himself standing at the edge of an uncertain future. The dream he had poured his heart and soul into seemed to slip away. The countless hours of training, the sacrifices, and the relentless pursuit of excellence now felt like they were in vain. It was a moment of profound loss, not just of a career, but of an identity he had built around his athletic prowess. Disappointment and uncertainty loomed large. The future seemed bleak, and the weight of his unfulfilled aspirations pressed heavily on his shoulders. He was at a pivotal point, where the choices he made next would define the rest of his life. It was a period of introspection, a time to look inward, and reassess his goals and desires. He spent countless hours reflecting on his journey, questioning his purpose, and seeking a new direction. It was a painful, yet necessary process, one that would ultimately lead him to a profound realization of coming to terms with unfulfilled aspirations. He had to accept that his dream of playing professional football was no longer attainable, and in doing so, he opened himself up to new possibilities. This acceptance was the first step towards healing and moving forward. It was during this challenging time that Dwayne made a life-altering decision. He realized that while one dream had ended, it didn't mean the end of all dreams. He had the power to redefine his path and pursue a new passion with the same intensity and dedication.
I chose to embrace a new path, one that was both familiar and foreign. It was a path that would challenge me in ways I had never imagined, but it was also a path that held the promise of new beginnings and endless possibilities. One that would lead me to become a global icon. The world of professional wrestling was calling, and I decided to answer that call with everything I had. It was a decision that would change the course of my life forever. I decided to step into the world of professional wrestling, a world that was as exhilarating as it was demanding. It was a world where I could channel my competitive spirit and connect with millions of fans around the globe. A world my family knew well. My father, Rocky Johnson, was a renowned wrestler, and I had grown up watching him in the ring. Wrestling was in my blood, and it felt like a natural progression, even though it was a daunting one.
His father, Rocky Johnson, was a renowned wrestler, a trailblazer in his own right. He had paved the way for future generations, and his legacy was a source of inspiration for Dwayne. And Dwayne had grown up witnessing the electrifying energy of the squared circle, the roar of the crowd, the intensity of the matches, and the larger-than-life personas had always fascinated him. It was a world that had always been a part of his life, even if he hadn't realized it at the time. Though initially hesitant to follow in his father's footsteps, Dwayne recognized an opportunity to rekindle his competitive spirit. He saw wrestling as a way to channel his passion for sports and performance, to create a new identity that was uniquely his own, and connect with an audience on a grand scale. The wrestling ring became his new arena, a place where he could showcase his talents and entertain millions. It was a platform that allowed him to be larger than life, to inspire and captivate. This decision, however, wasn't without its own set of challenges. The transition from football to wrestling was not easy. It required a different set of skills, a different mindset, and a willingness to start from the bottom and work his way up. The world of professional wrestling was a far cry from the structured environment of football. It was unpredictable, intense, and demanded a level of showmanship that was entirely new to him. It demanded a different kind of athleticism, charisma, and the ability to tell a story through physicality and emotion. Dwayne had to learn the ropes, literally and figuratively, and prove himself in a new arena, and the ability to captivate an audience with larger-than-life personas. It was a journey of transformation, one that required resilience, determination, and an unwavering belief in himself. And through it all, Dwayne Johnson emerged not just as a wrestler, but as a global icon, beloved by millions. Dwayne's entry into the world of professional wrestling wasn't paved with immediate success. It was a journey filled with trials and tribulations, a path that required immense dedication and resilience. From the very beginning, Dwayne had to prove himself in an industry that was both physically and mentally demanding. Entering the then WWF as Rocky Maivia, a name that paid homage to his father and grandfather, he faced an uphill battle. The legacy of his family loomed large, and the expectations were sky-high. Carrying the weight of his family's legacy, Dwayne was determined to carve out his own path. He wanted to honor his father, Rocky Johnson, and his grandfather, Peter Maivia, by making a name for himself in the wrestling world. However, the initial reception was far from what he had hoped for. He faced an uphill battle, struggling to connect with the audience and establish his own identity in the ring.
The audience, initially resistant to his clean-cut, happy-go-lucky persona, showered him with boos and chants of "Rocky sucks." It was a harsh reality check for the young wrestler. The relentless boos and jeers from the crowd were disheartening. They didn't see the potential in Rocky Maivia, and their rejection was a significant obstacle.
This rejection could have easily derailed Dwayne's wrestling career before it truly began. Many would have crumbled under the pressure, but Dwayne was different. But instead of succumbing to the pressure, he used it as fuel. He saw the audience's reaction as a challenge, an opportunity to prove them wrong and show them what he was truly capable of. He used the negative energy as motivation, pushing himself harder in training and honing his skills both in and out of the ring. He listened to the audience, learned from their response, and made a pivotal decision. He would reinvent himself. He realized that to succeed, he needed to be true to himself and embrace a persona that resonated with the fans. This decision marked a turning point in his career. He decided to shed the Rocky Maivia persona and embrace a bolder, more authentic character.
Embracing the booze, I shed the Rocky Maivia persona and embraced a bolder, more electrifying character, The Rock. It was a transformation that would change the course of his career. The Rock was a character that allowed Dwayne to fully express himself, to connect with the audience on a deeper level. It was a persona that was unapologetically confident, charismatic, and larger than life. With his trademark eyebrow raise, electrifying promos, and undeniable charisma, The Rock quickly became a fan favorite. He captivated audiences with his quick wit, infectious energy, and unparalleled mic skills.
The Rock's ability to connect with the audience was unparalleled. His catchphrases like, "Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?" became ingrained in pop culture. He wasn't just a wrestler, he was an entertainer, a showman who transcended the world of wrestling. His impact on the industry was profound, and his legacy continues to inspire new generations of wrestlers. The Rock's journey from Rocky Maivia to one of the most iconic figures in wrestling history is a testament to his resilience, determination, and unwavering belief in himself. His story is a reminder that success is not always immediate, but with perseverance and a willingness to adapt, anything is possible. The Rock's transformation was not just about changing his name or his look, it was about embracing who he truly was and sharing that with the world. And in doing so, he became a legend, a true WWE superstar whose impact will be felt for generations to come. From the ring to the silver screen, Hollywood's hesitation. As The Rock's star power grew in the WWE, so too did his aspirations. He set his sights on a new challenge conquering Hollywood.
My charisma, stage presence, and undeniable physicality seemed tailor-made for the big screen.
His transition to acting, however, wasn't without its doubters. Hollywood, like any other industry, had its preconceived notions. Many questioned whether a professional wrestler could make the leap to serious acting.
There were whispers of typecasting, of being relegated to action roles that relied solely on his physique.
Undeterred by the skepticism, Dwayne approached acting with the same work ethic and dedication that had propelled him to success in football and wrestling. He honed his craft, taking on diverse roles and proving his versatility as an actor. His breakout role in The Scorpion King in 2002 silenced many critics.
My performance, while not Oscar-worthy, showcased my charisma and screen presence, proving that I had the potential to carry a film.
Conquering Hollywood. The Rock's meteoric rise. Following the success of The Scorpion King, Dwayne's star continued to rise in Hollywood. He navigated the treacherous waters of the film industry with the same determination and resilience he had displayed throughout his life.
I took on roles that showcased my range, from action-packed blockbusters like the Fast and Furious franchise to family-friendly comedies like Tooth Fairy and Moana.
He wasn't afraid to poke fun at himself, to embrace roles that subverted expectations and showcased his comedic timing. With each successful film, Dwayne chipped away at the preconceived notions surrounding professional wrestlers turned actors.
I proved that my appeal extended beyond my physique, that I possessed the acting chops and charisma to captivate audiences worldwide.
Dwayne's dedication to his craft, his willingness to learn and grow, and his infectious personality made him one of the most bankable stars in Hollywood. He became a global icon, a household name synonymous with success, determination, and a positive attitude.